Welcome to another episode of Beyond the Badge. Today, I'm sitting down with someone who's worn a lot of hats during her time with CPD and wears them all well. Lieutenant Alicia Hoover was recently promoted, and while she's far too humble to say it herself, the people who work alongside her say she's steady, sharp, and leads with both strength and compassion. This month, as we recognize Child Abuse Prevention Month, it's the perfect time to sit down with Lieutenant Hoover to talk about her work on some of our department's most difficult cases, the powerful partnership with Children's Treehouse, and how the community can stand in the gap for kids in crisis. Lieutenant Hoover, thank you for being here. So first off, I want to congratulate you on your promotion. I know when I first got here, you were Sergeant Hoover, and I still need to change your name in my phone to Lieutenant Hoover.
That's okay. Everybody in my phone has the wrong rank.
So how does it feel to step into this new role?
It feels great because I have passion for the two units that I am over and for the people that work in those units.
Okay. So the people who work in those units, let's talk about that for a minute, because I did a thing prior to your interview. I sent an email to those who report to you. I asked them to either say a word or give me like a sentence or something. And of course, some people like, okay, I can give a word. There are some people that I can give a sentence, but then there are some who's like, no, gotta tell more because of the type of person that you are, the type of leader that you are. So here's what they had to say, and I want you to listen to this.
I'm a little scared.
Don't be scared. So Haley Starr said you are passionate. Josh Staten said you're caring. She's the most caring person I could work for. She really makes us feel as a family and will do anything to take care of us. Natalie Smith says she engages actively in multiple fronts. Bethany Thompson, she said, oh man, I can never do something short when I'm showing praise to someone. She said, and I quote, I only just started working with her for the first time since I moved to the third floor, but in my eyes, she has been amazing. She is understanding and always tells us that we can always come to her with questions or wherever we need. She has been a comforting factor for me coming upstairs because I was terrified that I wouldn't make it up here. And she has given me that confidence to work harder than I have ever worked before, and it makes joyful conversation, makes us all laugh, and puts a smile on everyone's face.
Wow.
That's not it. Eric Schwinn says she's tenacious, knowledgeable, and caring for victims and the people who work for her. Christy Edenfield, who's also recently promoted to sergeant, she leads by example, always has our back, understands the burden of the caseload as well as the nature of the cases. So she encourages and joins in with small laugh sessions. She's easy to talk to, and that's just a few. Megan Cole said very passionate about the work and she's hardworking. Joe Jackson, who I was just fussing with before we started this, he said she listens to suggestions from subordinates. She is culturally diverse and understanding. She is very quick in responding to ideas from coworkers. She shows concern for the families of the victims, officers, and suspects. How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel like it's all worth it. Because not only do I do this job for the community, I do it for the people that work here at the Columbus Police Department. And if I should show passion to the victims, I should also show passion to the people that work with me. They are my family.
Nice. I mean, and I believe everything that they said because you've been like an upbeat, nice person ever since the day that I met you. And I can only imagine what it's like working with you. I said only imagine. Not that I want to.
Come on.
I'm going to leave that up to the experts.
Okay.
But what do you think is the most important quality for a supervisor to have?
Understanding, being able to lead as an example, listen to suggestions of the coworkers, and just always be there for them. Like, I still go out on call-outs even though I'm not required because I want to be there for them, be able to assist them where I can. And that included not only at work but at home. If they ever need anything, I want them to know that they are my family and I'll be there for them.
That's so good. And you're leading by example, too. So that's amazing, an amazing quality to have for sure. What is something that you think or that you know prepared you to be in this role right now? Was there someone who helped you along the way, or is just a motto that you lived by?
I have been extremely lucky. All of my prior supervisors have been amazing. I don't think we've really even talked about what I've done with the department. I've been here for 23 years.
Nice.
Of course, I worked in patrol. I worked on the third floor in homicide. Then I went back to patrol as a sergeant, and then I went to the drug unit. And I think I really struggled in the drug unit because the victim is always the state of Georgia in a drug case. Mm-hmm. And once I moved back over to the sexual assault unit, I felt like there was a passion there. I knew that's where I belonged because I was going to help the community and help the victims, whether it's put somebody in jail or to get the victims the trauma-focused counseling that they deserve.
Mm-hmm. And some of these cases I know have stuck with you over the years. How long have you been in the Special Victims Unit?
So I was in the Special Victims Unit for almost 4 years, I would say.
Okay. And what?
The Sexual Assault Unit.
Well,
yeah.
Sexual Assault Unit. Is that interchangeable?
Well, we're about to change it.
Okay.
It's about to be the Sexual Assault Unit and the Special Victims Unit are about to consolidate into one big unit called the Special Victims Unit.
Okay.
That'll be in May.
That'll be in May. Okay. So since in the 4 years that you've been working in this space, is there a case that still sticks with you that stands out to you?
Yes, ma'am. You want me to tell you a little bit about it without saying some names?
Yes, without saying names, because I know that some of these victims.
So in 23, I worked a case with a 7-year-old victim. She was sexually assaulted by a family member. And we always do our research, and I looked back, and there was a prior case 2 years prior, and there just wasn't enough evidence to put anybody in jail. And I started working the case, realizing that the mother of the victim had put some things into place in case anything ever happened again. So I was able to get enough evidence to put the suspect in jail on the case. Well, it just really broke my heart because there was a language barrier. We put the breadwinner of the family in jail. The mother was pregnant. There were 2 or 3, well, I think it was 4 children in the household. So the Sexual Assault Unit, along with the Children's Treehouse, we got together and bought Christmas gifts for the entire family to include the mother. We had a surprise Santa Claus come to them, and we had a lunch. And that was kind of my way of giving back to them, showing them that somebody does care.
Nice. Okay, so you mentioned the Children's Treehouse.
Yes, ma'am.
And I know you hold them very near and dear to your
I
heart.
do.
You made that well known from the get-go. Tell us about the partnership between the Columbus Police Department and the Children's Treehouse.
The Children's Treehouse is part of Twin Cedars organization. We get with them. They partner with us to interview our kiddos in our cases. They have specialized forensic interviewers. Not only do they interview victims and witnesses for us, they also offer free trauma-focused counseling for all of our victims. And that's a comfort to me in itself, knowing that we have people that are specialized in interviewing our kiddos, but also give free counseling. And if I'm not able to put somebody in jail, I know they're getting help through the Treehouse for years to come.
So would you say they play a very important role in bringing justice while protecting the kids?
Yes, they are pivotal for our organization. I don't know what we would do without their partnership. And they're hiring, folks.
Uh-oh. What are they hiring for?
They're hiring for a forensic interviewer, so anybody interested, look it up.
Yes, got it. Okay.
But I also want to tell you we do work very closely with the Sexual Assault Center for our adult victims. for our SANE exams and also for counseling, counseling.
That was my next question. What's in place for?
Yes, Kyle Bear and her crew are really good over there, and I don't know what we would do without them either.
Got you. What do you wish that people in the community understood about it? Like the things that happen, like the trauma that's caused on some of these victims, and what you all have to go through to investigate these cases.
Yeah, these cases are not easy cases to work. I wish the community, and I know victims aren't always able to do so, but if they can report it as soon as possible, we're able to get evidence such as sexual assault exams. It's difficult to make a case on a delayed case because there's not the forensic evidence. A lot of times there's not technology for as phones, cameras that are in the community. But I would like for them to know that we do care and we are here for you. So if you want to report it to us, please do so. If not, just for your own peace of mind to have it on record.
All right. So April is also Child Abuse Prevention Month, right?
And Sexual Assault Awareness Month.
And Sexual Assault Awareness Month. It's so many things.
Wear blue.
Yes, wear blue. I like the color blue. Purple is my favorite, but I will wear blue this month. I promise. So you've worked cases involving both adult and child victims. What makes child cases, like cases involving kids, particularly challenging?
A lot of times children don't disclose right away, which makes it difficult, or family members don't believe them, or it's been reported through DFACS and doesn't get to us right away. Oh, shout out to DFACS. We work with them all the time.
Absolutely.
I think child victims, it's hard for them to disclose to their family members, especially if the suspect is a family member.
Right. What are some signs that people can look for when it comes to child abuse or neglect?
And we also get a lot of child, I'll call it sex trafficking type cases. Distance, running away, acting out, not acting like themselves. We get a lot of cases where kids are on social media and they're being taken advantage of because they're trusting whoever has quick added them on Snapchat, or they're talking to people in vanish mode or my eyes only. And those are very difficult for law enforcement to get that data off of the social media and technology like phones. So parents need to be aware of what their kids are doing on their phones. Check their phones.
Right. He talked about social media and the dangers that comes along with it, not just difficulty for law enforcement, but just putting them in danger, putting kids in danger. What are some of those trends? Like what does that look like, and how can you encourage parents to check the phone like you just said?
Well, most of the social media sites have on their websites, it has tips and tricks for parents. And like a couple of the people in our unit, we have teenage kids, young teenage kids. We check their phones daily. We take them up at a certain time of night. We don't allow them to be on certain apps. And if we do, we pay close attention to what they're doing. You need to educate your children. And just be a parent. Be there for them. I mean, be that person that they'll come to if they feel like something's not right.
You also talked about sex trafficking. Have we seen many cases like that locally?
Yeah, I'm currently working one now. Most of the time, the cases that I have seen are 14, 15, 16-year-old kids who are having a hard time at home already. They're easy targets. They're habitual runaways, and they are walking the streets and they meet somebody that's older, a lot of times 40, 50 years old, and they start communicating, and they're having sex for money or for small things like candy bar.
So it's not always money. It's different.
They could for that code section, they could transport them and have a sexual act, and that also counts as sex trafficking.
Wow. So for kids who run away because things at home are just not what they want it to be, talk about like we were talking about the sex trafficking, but there's just a lot of hidden dangers out here. Like, they don't know when they're running away from home, they're running into really bad situations.
Oh, yeah. And a lot of times they're running because something's going on at home and we just don't know about it. I would encourage kids to talk to teachers, counselors, church members, your neighbor. If something's going on at home that the law enforcement needs to know about, let us know. Let us investigate it.
And you all have a partnership with the school district as well.
Yes, we do. We work very closely with the school district, along with, we're all mandatory reporters, so then DFACS will get involved and then we'll investigate.
No. So there are multiple resources that are available for kids and parents or victims, so to speak. Can you talk about some of those things that may be available to them? Like if they found themselves a victim of sex trafficking, kidnapping, or anything that may have happened while...
Yeah, of course you can call 911, but in Georgia we have an organization called CSEC that will get involved and help youth that have been sex trafficked, get them away from the environment they've been in, help them with counseling. They can go to a church, or they can go to a counselor, they can go to the school, they can go to the children's Treehouse. I just worry about the youth right now because and it's the same when I was a kid. It'll never happen to me. Mm-hmm. And they still, I'm almost 50 years old, and back when I was that age, it'll never happen to me.
There's no way you're almost 50.
Yeah.
There's no way.
But, I try so hard. I have a child myself, and I try to educate her about the dangers of, just lock your doors. Right. Pay attention to where you are and what you're doing. Don't get caught up in the mess and peer pressure and all those things.
Right.
It's the typical thing that a parent should tell their child, but she thinks because you're law enforcement, Mom. That's why.
She feels like but you do offer a different perspective, though, that a lot of people don't see. So if someone is listening to this podcast and they are wanting to get involved or support kids in crisis, where should they start?
Well, you can always call me, and I'll set you up with any kind of organization I can think of. You can call the Twin Cedars Children's Treehouse. You can call the Sexual Assault Center. Micah's Promise also helps with sex trafficking victims in the community. I'm always willing to help anybody out that needs anything in the community, so give me a holler.
How can they contact you, Lieutenant Hoover?
They can contact me at my desk phone, 706-225-4355, and if I can't help them out, I'll find somebody that will.
Nice. Okay. I can imagine that the work that you're doing, it gets emotionally heavy. What keeps you grounded?
I try to concentrate on the good. I can't do anything about what's already happened, but what I can do is help the victims and the families, meaning I can support them. I can get them to agencies that will give them that free counseling, and that's comfort to me. Just knowing that I can get the victims and their families free counseling, it comforts me. Maybe that's silly. I don't know.
It's not silly at all. Like it's a thing.
And working in the sexual assault unit and the special victims unit just brings me back to why I got into law enforcement 23 years ago, almost 24 now. It's because I want to help people. I legitimately really want to help people.
And that's a blessing in itself, because a lot of people, they don't, they start things and they don't know what it is that they're really starting it for, but you know that you want to help people. And so that's a good thing. That's a blessing in itself. So what advice would you give some of your younger officers who are starting out in this field, like Bethany Thompson, and I believe you got a handful, another one coming starting in a few days?
Robert Ward.
Yes.
Shout out, Robert. What's up, old school Bethany Thompson?
That's what you would say to them. But any encouraging words for them as they start on this journey?
Don't get discouraged, and I know y'all can do it. Don't take it home with you. Bring it to me if you get upset about things. And we are a family, And I mean that seriously. If you need help with anything, come to me. And if I don't know the answer, we'll find out the answer. Your supervisors, Sergeant Jackson, Sergeant Smith, Sergeant Waldy, Sergeant Edenfield, they really do want to help y'all out. They want to be there for you, and we want to work as a team to get the job done.
That's beautiful. All right, thank you so much, Lieutenant Hoover, for being here. Thank you for all that you do and the compassion that you bring to work with you. And maybe next time you'll come back.
Oh, heck yeah. Hey, I got to say one thing. War Eagle.
Oh, my goodness. All right, y'all. Until next time, thanks for listening to Beyond the Badge with Team CBB.